The dining room smelled of roasted turkey and cinnamon, a warmth that usually invited comfort, but tonight it felt dense, with expectation. My son pushed at his plate, his eyes fixed somewhere beyond the silverware. He could see through the curated perfection of our family gathering. I could feel the small tremor in my own chest, familiar tension of a moment about to become more than polite conversation. My father stood, glass in hand, clearing his throat. I'm proud of the grandchildren who reflect what this family truly stands for, he said, his voice firm but filled with that old weight of authority that demanded acknowledgement. Eyes flickered, smiles were offered, and somewhere in the room a laugh was held back. The words hung there like a chandelier swinging above us, catching everyone's attention and none at the same time. I watched my son, his untouched plate, the tight line of his lips, slight shift of his shoulders. It was all a silent protest. I remembered myself at his age, nodding, performing, pretending my compliance was pride. I felt that same tug now, wanting to smooth over the disruption, to keep the fragile balance. But I also felt something new, the desire to protect the small, stubborn flame of his individuality. The room stilled. Someone cleared their throat, and the clinking of silverware seemed unnaturally loud. I bent slightly, kissed the top of my son's head, feeling the fine hair between my fingers, then raised my glass. The words that came out were soft, deliberate, but carefully chosen. To the ones who follow their own path, I said. The silence hit first. It rolled across the table in a slow, weighty wave. Father's hand trembled slightly on his glass, eyes widening. He almost choked, paused mid-drink. My sister's smile faltered, her eyes darting from my face to my son, searching for the meaning, the mistake, the breach. Everyone else shifted uneasily, caught between ritual politeness and the unmistakable acknowledgement of a subtle challenge, felt the small satisfaction of calm authority, the quiet assertion of presence without spectacle. No raised voices, no accusations, no dramatic exit, just the quiet shift, undeniable if understated. My son met my eyes briefly, a small, almost imperceptible nod. He wasn't alone. The rest of the evening moved forward, but differently. Conversations hummed at a lower tone, glances were longer. I could feel the invisible recalibration of family hierarchies. The father's authority hadn't crumbled, but it had bent, momentary concession, granted by restraint rather than confrontation. I thought of the patterns that had brought us here, expectations, the silent rules, the inherited pressures that demanded conformity. And I thought of my son, sitting there quietly, touched plate in front of him, holding his own ground. That small act of defiance, uncelebrated, almost invisible, carried more weight than any speech or lecture. By the time dessert arrived, I was aware of a subtle change. The power had shifted. Only slightly, its gravity altered, but not broken. I had regained dignity for both myself and my child, not through spectacle, not through revenge, but by being deliberate, measured, and entirely present. The evening ended without applause or confrontation. Plates were cleared, hugs were exchanged, and the family dispersed into the living room, conversations continuing in fragments. Polite, but slightly tentative. I sat back, feeling the quiet gravity of what had happened, aware that relationships hadn't been destroyed, quietly transformed. Later, I would remember the moment not for drama, but for clarity. The lesson wasn't loud or moralizing. It was in the subtle recognition that individuality matters, that restraint can hold power. Even small gestures can reverberate through generations. And in that silence I saw my son, calm, intact, and resolute. Was victory enough?